Fox Sports.
We are the Force. We are FC.
Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium this afternoon as a 6-game homestand comes to a close, all against first-place teams. Last game of 3 today between the Royals and the Red Sox. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. There is a lot of news here today. We'll begin with the pitching staff. Jason Hamill will be moved to the bullpen. Glenn Sparkman has been called up from AAA. And an injury to report. Jacob Junis goes to the disabled list. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. The Royals don't think it's serious, but he has some lower back inflammation which flared up yesterday. So Jacob, who is supposed to start today, goes on the disabled list, which presents an opportunity for Heath Fillmyer, who's done a nice job out of the bullpen. Today he gets his first major league start.
What a great opportunity for him, not just to be in his first big league start, but against the Boston Red Sox, one of the best teams in baseball. Has a chance to really do something special if he can shut this high-powered offense down. He's a tough kid, and all the best to him.
And the other big news is Alcides Escobar's long consecutive start streak comes to an end today. Joel Goldberg will have more on that when we come back.
Show you the starter that's about to throw that first pitch warming up, but today we mix it up because this is a different day, one that we have not seen in quite some time. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg out at the K. A couple of weeks ago, Ned Yost said that Alcides Escobar would start playing some other positions, and at some point in here he would sit a day or multiple days. We know that he's been struggling. He also had the longest active streak of starts in baseball. And for Alcides Escobar, he was faced with the media questions this morning as the streak is officially over at 421 starts. What Esky said here in this conversation was, I understand it. I want to do what's best for the team, what's best for the manager, and try to help out these young guys. And so the streak that began in September of 2015 has come to an end. Whit Merrifield has a hitting streak going. Ryan and Hud talking about that next.
Notice that some of those line drives from Whit Merrifield came when he had a mask on his face back in April when it was cold. He wasn't getting a lot of hits, but he's been hitting line drives all season long, and eventually that's going to even itself out. Let's take a look at our Kubota power stats. And when you're talking about line drives, that's your best chance of getting a base hit. Whit's been among the best in the major leagues.
Whit has a way of barreling the ball, and I'll tell you, he stays inside of it. It's nice to be able to watch this guy hit line to line. He's a real professional, you know, and when you're labeled a baseball player, that's a compliment, and that's exactly what he is. A lot of fun to watch. Multi-position, multi-hit Whit is on display every day at the K.
It's also been a good homestand for Lucas Duda. He has a double, his first triple in 7 years, and 2 home runs. The Royals will be facing Boston right-hander Rick Porcello today. Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. It has been a tough stretch for the Royals. This is the final game of a 2-week stretch, 15 games in a row against winning teams in the American League. It's the Royals and the Red Sox this afternoon. The first pitch is coming up next. Girl Scouts Day. Girl Scouts cookies are everywhere. It is 87 degrees and sunny for the final game of this homestand. And then the Royals' final stretch before the All-Star break will take them through Minnesota and Chicago. Red Sox are waiting for the color guard to exit the field, and now they will spread out and get ready for the first inning. And there's Mookie Betts, our Toyota League leaders. He led off this series with a home run on Friday night. So 100 career home runs for him before the age of 26. And on our Toyota League leaders, only Tony Conigliaro, Ted Williams, and Jim Rice have accomplished that in the long history of the Boston Red Sox. Here's the Red Sox batting order today. No JD Martinez. He's a bit banged up. Hasn't seemed that way in this series, but he fouled 3 different balls off of either his foot or his leg last night, so he is not in the starting lineup. Red Sox have had a heck of a season on offense. They lead the major leagues in runs per game, batting average, doubles, and hitting with runners in scoring position. And now Heath Fillmyer, who makes his first major league start. He has faced the Astros, he has faced the Mariners, he has faced the Indians, and now the Red Sox. Those are all contending teams.
And he's fared pretty well against those teams too. He's been impressive. He's challenged his guys. He's not afraid. Gotta love that. He's getting a great opportunity today. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. Facing the Red Sox, this is one of the best teams in the world. Their offense is powerful. They can run. They got every kind of talent. He's got a chance to really look good. Forward around the horn, Royals defense. We'll show you Abraham Almonte making his 21st start in center field. He's got a nice opportunity today as well. And then first base, wow, no Esky? What? Okay, Mike Moustakas is over there for his 3rd start at first base. Hunter Dozier at 3rd. We'll see if Esky gets in the game.
Well, the Royals know that Adalberto Mondesi can play shortstop. The question is, can he play shortstop every day? So number one for him this year is just to prove that he can be durable, and the Royals can rely on him in the future as an everyday player. Mookie Betts, 5 hits in the series. He has hit .529 against the Royals this year. That is 9 out of 17 with 4 home runs. Waiting for the go-ahead from home plate umpire Jim Wolf to step in the box. And here we go. A little bit high, ball 1. Among major league leaders in all of the important offensive categories, Mookie Betts has the highest average, the highest slugging percentage, the highest OPS. Back to the middle, and that's where Witt was waiting. 1 away.
Nicely done. Shift worked out that time. Talk about Phil Meyer and his toughness. You know, mental toughness, physical toughness. This guy, he's the right man for the right spot today, and he just wants to do that. Keep the ball down. They're going to make contact, but hopefully they hit it at people.
Andrew Benintendi has been on base 8 times in the first 2 games of this series. And that includes a career high 4 walks last night. One ball, 1 strike.
Heath Philmeyer, check him out. Fastball, slider, changeup. The changeup is an effective pitch for him. No question. It's kind of like a split finger type change, and it has some good downward movement.
2-1.
92 to 96 hill range for his fastball.
He'd been a starter all year in the minor leagues, and so Ned Yost was not concerned about his pitch count, with one exception. The last time he threw was Wednesday, and he threw only 40 pitches. So he's, even though it's his first start, he would back on short day's rest. But Ned said about 75 pitches, and they'd go from there. 2-2. To center field. That'll drop in front of Almonte. Benintendi is on with 1 out.
Staying in the middle of the field. Good short compact swing. Didn't try to do too much.
Here's Steve Pearce, who is the Red Sox designated hitter today. Ball rolls away from Butera. Benintendi took 2 steps, but Drew was on it quickly. So no advance for Benintendi. Drew Butera finished the game last night on the mound, making his 6th career appearance as a pitcher. Two balls, no strikes. Heath Philmeyer made his big league debut against the Astros. The lower line there, he gave up 2 runs in 4 innings. But since then, he's given up 1 hit in his previous 5 innings, and again against all contending teams, first or second place teams. Now he's 3-0 against Steve Pearce.
You always want to compete against the best. That way, if you do get beat, no one says anything.
And now Pearce is on with a 4-pitch walk. So he got a quick out, getting Mookie Betts to ground out, but now a single and a walk, and there are 2 on for Mitch Moreland. Moreland got the first game of the series off, and the Red Sox had a day off prior to that. So he had 2 days off, and then was 1 for 3 with an RBI last night. Witt, nice play on a 1-hop and a double play. So Phil Meyer gets some help from his defense, and the Red Sox are scoreless in the first.
Oh, what a breath of fresh air for the first inning.
Here's the Royals lineup today against right-hander Rick Porcello. Jorge Bonifacio will bat second today. Mike Moustakas is at first base. Lucas Duda is the DH. Salvador Perez and Rosel Herrera are not in the lineup. Neither is Alcides Escobar. So that long starting streak comes to an end today against Rick Porcello with 10 wins. He also likes to pitch inside. He's hit 10 batters this year.
And that's effective. Opens up the outside part of the plate. So you know what, you want to beat him, better zone him. I mean, pick out a certain zone where you want to drive the ball, and then whatever he throws in that spot like that, be ready to hit. Because he'll throw everything but the kitchen sink. He's got a whole bunch of pitches, and he mixes them all. Defensively, Andrew Benintendi, a young outfielder with 6 outfield assists. That's tied with 5 others for 8th. Rafael Devers, a young man at third base. He's just 21 years old. Had a tough time catching the ball this year. 18 errors. Yikes.
Jorge Bonifacio with Merrifield at first base. And he was thinking about a bunt with Devers deep at third, and Devers has 18 errors. Put some pressure on him in the first inning. Bonifacio's checking in with Mike Jerschele. And for the 4th time in his career, Whit Merrifield has a hitting streak of 10 or more games.
some quick feet.
"16 stolen bases." Is tied for 4th in the American League. Late movement and over the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ned Yost has referred to the number 2 position in his batting order this year as at times a black hole. Trying to find the right bridge from Merrifield to the middle of the order. Center field, Jackie Bradley Jr. is there for out number 1. And now fires back to first. And Witt is back in time. The Red Sox want to take another look. That was college teammate trying to throw out college teammate.
Whitley got out there and said, "Oh man, I better get back." Unless his foot was off the base, he looked out to me.
Red Sox will challenge, so they do not believe that Moreland's foot was off the base. And Jackie Bradley Jr., he came up throwing like he knew something. I mean, that was not catching the ball and then seeing the runner and reacting. Catching the ball as if maybe he assumed that Witt would be off the bag. Moreland's foot, he was reaching, and if anything, first base umpire DJ Rayburn, he was right there. But usually an umpire will signal with his hands that the fielder was off the bag.
It's tough. That's a good angle there. But lots of times, whenever an umpire sees a player re-tag the base, that tells the umpire, oh, he didn't touch it. It's almost like a guilty visual body language guilty sign.
But now we have the final judge of replay.
Exactly. He's on it.
Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, the longer this drags on, the more the call stands, deferring to the call on the field. So right now, whoever the umpire is looking at this back in New York, there is nothing clear and convincing whether Witt was out or safe. And now we're about to get the final verdict. Safe.
Good break for the Royals, and Whitley with a chance to steal a base.
So the Red Sox lose their challenge in the bottom of the first inning. And that'll bring up Mike Moustakas. Moustakas has driven in 3 in this series and leads the Royals with those 56 RBIs. He has driven in 8 over his last 7 games. Up into the bright sky. And Mookie Betts is there. 2 down. And that'll bring up Lucas Duda. On this homestand, he has hit 2 home runs. He has driven in 4. Hit a home run in the second inning last night against David Price. And he has been mostly dangerous this year in the first inning, hitting over 400. That includes his first at bat as a Royal, hitting a home run on opening day against the White Sox. Hit well to center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. coasts onto the warning track to end the inning. So the Royals are not able to make anything of Witt's leadoff single. No score. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in today's game. Xander Bogaerts has driven in 5 in the first 2 games. He has 42 extra base hits this year. That is 6 shy of last year. He'll be followed by Rafael Devers and Eduardo Nunez. Phil Meyer worked around a 1-out single and a walk and got Mitch Moreland to ground into a double play. So all 3 of his first inning outs were on the ground. That's a pretty good strategy against the Red Sox.
Good idea. Keep him in the yard.
Bogaerts goes the other way. Leadoff man on, and we go downstairs to Joel.
All right, Ryan, I think you hit it right on the head at the start of the broadcast. A lot of news and moves today, including the announcement from Ned Yost that Jason Hamill, who's been struggling, will go to the bullpen. Birch Smith will get the start. This really feels like the day that Ned and his staff have transitioned from winning, and yes, winning still matters, the results matter, to building for the future, developing, where process maybe matters even more than the results. Ned said that process, it's never easy, but it's easier because we've been through it. And so now it's a matter of letting these young guys get out there. And if they're struggling or failing, letting them experience more of that, just the way they did for the young guys like Alcides Escobar back in 2011. And I know that HUD believes in this one. Ned saying, if we as a staff are not positive, it all goes to hell. He said, our guys are still playing with energy, and we have to be positive with them.
It's tough enough. You know, you want to have fun, But when you're not winning, it's hard to have fun. But you know, the best cure is to encourage your teammates. It takes your thoughts off yourself.
Rafael Devers is on with a base hit. So 2 more base runners against Phil Meyer, and now Eduardo Nunez comes up. Double play ground ball again. So Phil Meyer has 2 ground ball double plays in his first 2 innings, and now Bogaerts is at third with 2 down.
That'll save that pitch count. Roll them over. Little ham and eggs.
Benintendi last inning hit a line drive into center field for a base hit, but everything else has been on the ground. The Bogaerts and Devers base hits in this inning have been ground balls that have gotten through, and now the double play bringing up Sandy León. So Phil Myers faced 7 batters, and 5 of the 7 have hit the ball on the ground. And the Red Sox have really used the home run to punish the Royals this season. Not just the series here, but the one at Fenway. They've out-homered the Royals 12-5. 2 balls and no strikes on León. Fouled back into the crowd. Red Sox lost their other catcher today to the disabled list. Christian Vasquez, sliding headfirst into second base last night, wrecked a finger. So he's out. Alex Cora has Blake Swihart on his bench, who can play everywhere on the field and is also a natural catcher. So he was carrying 3 catchers at one point. Back to Phil Myers. So another ball on the ground. And he's living right so far. No score to the bottom of the second.
That's right.
Royals hit a triple in today's game. The Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. Alex was not in the lineup Friday night with Chris Sale on the mound, and went 0 for 4 last night. Rick Porcello gave up a single to Merrifield in the first, and then he retired the next 3, but all balls were hit in the air. So a guy known for a sinker and getting a lot of ground balls. The Royals are able to elevate him 3 times. Lucas Duda drove Jackie Bradley Jr. to the warning track in center field. Slow breaking balls outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. Statcast powered by AWS, and with those colors, that's why the Red Sox are in the overshift to the right. And now Alex is down on strikes on a pitch that may have been a little bit inside, and that's Porcello's 105th strikeout of the year.
Two-seamer, sometimes you give up on it inside part of the plate if you're a left-handed hitter, because out of his release point it looks off the plate, and then the two-seam run catches it. Deceptive pitch.
And now Hunter Dozier over the inside. Porcello struggled last year, and so did his sinker. Gave up 14 home runs on his sinker last year, and the league hit .323 against that pitch. The numbers are not great this year. Opponents are still hitting .273, but it's chopping off a lot of base hits compared to last year. That one hung. 1 and 2 on Dozier.
He's going to mix up a lot of pitches. Got to just sit in a certain zone. And the fact that he's been up, that's good, because each of the last 6 runs he's allowed over his last 3 starts have come on 4 home runs. So if you're going to look at a spot, look up and don't miss it. And it's hard to tell yourself I'm going to hit a home run, but you just try to look up in the zone and catch it right. Back underside, get some backspin, little exit velo.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Porcello.
Oh, snappy. Those are hard to hit, especially when they're located there.
And that'll bring up Abraham Almonte. And Ned Yost referred to Almonte a couple of times in talking about Escobar's streak ending today, which on the surface wouldn't make any sense because Almonte is not a shortstop. But Royals want to see Mondesi at short, and they want to get a long look at Almonte, and Almonte has only 2 at-bats on this homestand. So he's one of the players that had something to do with Eske being squeezed out of the lineup today. And he hits it hard on the ground to Nunez. And the Royals go down in order in the bottom of the 2nd. No score.
Philmeyer making his first big league start. How about him? And I'll tell you, makes that pitcher happy and the defense. And you can roll not one but two double plays so far in this one. That saves the pitch count and also gives Moose a little work at first base. Gotta like it.
Ball 1 to Jackie Bradley Jr. Batting 198 this year. He is 1 for 10 in this series. And another ball hit on the ground. So, first time to the order for Philmeyer. He faced 9 batters, 7 hit the ball on the ground, and that includes a couple of ground ball base hits. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save.
He's got baseball.
Fastball strike to Mookie Betts. He grounded out to Merrifield in the first inning. Witt was playing up the middle. So the Royals overshift had them in the right place. A little bit inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. And now 3-1 on Marcus Lynn Betts. And as the story goes, his mom, big baseball fan, gave him those initials on purpose, MLB. So she knew something.
Sure that's not for Major League bowler?
Excellent bowler too. He was the best boys bowler in Tennessee, which he learned from his mother, and then was nicknamed Mookie because his parents were big fans of NBA player Mookie Blaylock.
Interesting.
So they had sports in mind as soon as Mookie entered the world. Bowling, baseball, nickname after an NBA player.
What's better than that? Besides raking, being one of the best hitters in baseball. Defensively too. He plays right field, but he's a center fielder.
One and one on Benintendi. Blaylock's uncle is Terry Shumpert, who played for the Royals.
Shump.
From 90 to 94. He played parts of 14 years in the big leagues. Two balls, 1 strike. Benintendi lined a single to center field in the first inning. He's the first and only Red Sox hitter today that has put the ball in play and elevated a pitch from Philmeyer. Slice foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I guess it's possible that Philmeyer could make him roll into a double play. Stay hot. Why not?
He got Moreland to ground into a double play in the first inning and Nunez in the second. There goes Betts, and it's lined into right field. So Betts will go first to third. So again, Benintendi is the only Red Sox hitter that has been able to elevate Philmeyer, and now runners at the corners with 1 out. And now Benintendi in his last 8 plate appearances has 4 hits and 4 walks.
Wow. That's a breaking ball up in the upper part of the zone. He's able to Tommy hawk. So it took some speed off, and that's why he was ahead of it.
And now Steve Pearce. We saw 4 pitches in his first plate appearance and walked. Outside, or it caught the corner. 0-1. Well, if you lead the major leagues in runs per game, you're going to be pretty good hitting with runners in scoring position. Here's our key: a drive to success. And that's the case with the Red Sox. 288 as a team with runners in scoring position. That's pretty good if you're just a player, an individual hitting 288 with runners in scoring position.
Yep. That's getting the job done, because you got a lot of guys who think middle of the field, especially this guy. Pearce, he goes gap to gap. He thinks middle.
Benintendi could run. He has 16 stolen bases to stay out of the double play. So Phil Myers trying to keep him close. And it's fouled back, 1-2. Pearce has grounded into 1.
Well, when you're ahead in the count like this, 1-2, think down. Maybe you can get him to hit one to Moxie. Think down, not up. That last pitch at 92 was not the pitch you wanted. Phil Myers. Pearce wanted it, but he missed it.
The Red Sox have had 2 base runners in each of the first 3 innings. Almost got him to chase it. 2-2. Ned Yost was discussing Brad Keller's outing with the media earlier today, and Brad wasn't spot on like he has been as a starter, but in the first 4 innings he was able to work around men on base. But the Red Sox got to him in the 5th. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Ned was saying it really doesn't matter who you are, but at this level, getting out of a jam twice in one game is possible, but doing it 3 times in one game is tough.
Sure is. And the fact that he's got 60 and 2/3 innings and he's got a 2.52 ERA tells me he's doing a lot of things right.
Benintendi runs. That's hit off the end of the bat. Betts will tag. Alex makes the catch. Here's the throw, and it's a little bit off the line. So Betts scores on the Pearce sacrifice fly, and Boston leads 1-0.
Walk ends up scoring. Wasn't quite shallow enough for Alex Gordon. Still a good attempt. You notice if he misses on a throw, it's always to the left side of the plate. That's where you want to put the ball. If you throw the ball up the right side, first base side, you have no chance to make the tag. So Alex at least has a chance, gives the catcher a chance.
Mitch Moreland grounded into a double play in the first inning. Out in front. No balls, 2 strikes. So we'll keep an eye on Benintendi here. 2 strikes and 2 outs. He is 16 out of 17 in stolen base attempts this year. Slide step and fouled at the plate.
Gilmar staying with the changeup on Moreland. Had him out front both times. Nothing too good. It's good. Try to get him up.
He's tried that a few times in this inning. He tried it with Pierce a couple of times, but too high to be tempting for the hitter. Try and come back with a changeup. And a ground ball hit out to Witt. Inning over. A 1-out walk turns into a run with a sacrifice fly, and Boston leads 1-0. Gold Award, the highest honor for a Girl Scout, after completing a project that required a minimum of 85 hours of service. Taylor was concerned with the lack of political knowledge and voter registration among her peers. So with the help of her state representative and history teacher, she created the Young Voter Committee, where students at Lansing High School can learn about issues on the ballot and hear directly from their elected officials. What a great idea. Sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at today's game, helping young boys and girls understand what's on the ballot and maybe not lean directly on what their parents are telling them to vote for or against.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mondesi leads off the third. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's what we haven't been seeing too much from Mondesi this year. He hadn't been bunting. Remember last year, or the previous years he's been up here, he bunted once a game at least. He's got excellent speed, so put it on the ground, you got a chance.
Two and two. It's hard to convince sometimes a young player as fast as Mondesi that he doesn't have to make a perfect bunt. Good changeup.
Enjoy a double play of savings with the new Summer Fun Pack from the Royals and Worlds of Fun. Pick any Royals game, also get a Worlds of Fun ticket, all at a discount. To learn more, visit Royals.com/summerfun.
Porcello gave up a base hit to Whit Merrifield in the first inning, and now he's set down 7 in a row. It's a strike on Drew Butera. 0 for 1 in this series, and playing time has been hard to come by for him lately. And he got a lot of playing time early in the season when Salvador Perez was on the disabled list, but this is just his 7th start in the Royals' last 33 games, going back to the beginning of June. 7 starts since the beginning of June.
Tough to keep your timing offensively, but he works. He works extra. When you're an extra player, you have to take extra hitting, extra fielding practice to stay sharp when you do get your chance.
Then you factor in being a catcher, where his first priority is not hitting. He's got to talk game plan, and priority number 1 is catching and getting his pitcher through the game. DJ Rayburn says no swing, 3-2.
Yeah, especially a young guy making his first major league start. Spend a lot of time with him. You're not going to be watching film on Porcello. So much of hitting is just going up there and seeing the ball and putting it in play, using your natural reaction, and then battle with 2 strikes like he's doing now. And if you don't have success, and you're a player like Drew, he'll take a 3-2 count, seeing a lot of pitches. That's going to be a bonus for him, especially if you can win the at-bat.
And he ends up with a base hit. Runner at first with 1 out.
3-2 is looking for a pitch up. He got it. 4-seam fastball sitting on a platter for him.
And now Merrifield was singled to center in the first inning. That gives him a 10-game hitting streak. 10 or more games for the 4th time in his career. 5 multi-hit games during that stretch. 1-1. He's also been a more selective hitter this year. He already has 3 more walks this year than he did last year. Didn't mean to do that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I never thought of Whit as someone who was not a patient hitter, because he's always been a guy who's had professional at bats, but he had 29 walks last year in 145 games.
It's not a lot.
I mean, you see a number like that, and the first thing you start thinking, boy, this guy's a free swinger, man. He goes up there hacking.
This tells me he doesn't miss. When he swings at a pitch and it's out over the zone, he rarely misses. And he uses the whole field. It's really interesting to see him hit. I love how he hits behind runners. This would be a great situation here if he could pick something out and shoot it to right. Although Mookie Betts throws well, could get Drew to third. And if it stays up, he'll pull it.
Good pitch, and Whit did a good job of fouling it away. Anything surprise you there?
Nope, everything in the middle. He's not missing. Just like I said, he has a knack to barrel the ball.
in that 179 down and away. That's probably just about everybody.
You would think.
Another base hit into center field. 2-hit Witt as another multi-hit game, and the Royals have 2 on with 1 out.
Where was this? Middle. This showed you hit 327 in that spot, and he doesn't miss. He doesn't pop it up or roll it over. He stays through the swing and through the ball.
29 multi-hit games to lead the Royals. And it brings up Bonifacio. He flied to center field in the first inning. Porcello got him to chase a pitch way inside. 0-1. Just the second game where Ned Yost has had Bonifacio as the number 2 hitter. Ned has used 12 different guys in that number 2 spot this year. That's well hit. Left center field and up against the wall. Butera scores. Here's Merrifield around third, and Jorge Bonifacio gives the Royals a 2-1 lead.
Porcello, he's been outstanding with runners in scoring position. Last 6 starts, he's been really good, 152 average. But in this inning, he's elevating some pitches. That's elevated. It's on the inner half, but it's easier for a hitter to hit that ball when it's elevated right to his swing. Whitley got him, and then that was an extra base hit, a nice one to the wall.
And now a man in scoring position for the Royals, leading RBI guy Mike Moustakas, and he hits a shot in and out of the seats in the right field corner. Porcello got him on a fly ball to right in the first inning.
He just missed it. Good swing.
Up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Got it inside just enough. 1-2. The inning began with a strikeout. Porcello got Mondesi, then Butera singled after a long at bat. Merrifield singled. Bonifacio has a 2-run double. Leon keeps the ball in front of him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Moustakas had a rough June, although the numbers will tell you that he had a lot of bad luck. But he's driven in 8 over his last 7 games, and that includes 3 home runs. Popped up to the left side. Devers looking up into the glare. 2 outs. And a big out for Porcello. Lucas Duda lined out to the warning track in center field in the first inning. The call. Now, interesting looking at that call there. The strike zone grid would say that that pitch was high. But look at the top of that grid. That's right at Lucas Duda's belt, maybe even a little bit below. The grid, at least on television, never moves, but the strike zone, we're being told, adjusts to every hitter. So a taller hitter, strike zone moves up. Shorter hitter, strike zone moves down.
Supposedly, but it's one of the toughest jobs for any official in any sport. Imaginary strike zone and trying to call balls and strikes. It's just in basketball, you can hear the sound of the guy getting fouled. You know, you can see all that. I've had umpires tell me that that's not as easy as it looks, and they're graded.
Fastball up. So the inning is over, but Jorge Bonifacio drives in Butera and Merrifield. And at the end of 3, the Royals lead 2-1.
All military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Jorge Bonifacio hits a 2-run double, and the Royals lead 2-1 to the top of the 4th inning. And Heath Fillmyer has given up just 1 run in his first 3 innings. Doing a good job of keeping the ball down so far. And that's low for ball 1. Xander Bogaerts also led off the 2nd and singled. And Rafael Devers singled. And then Fillmyer got a double play. He has gotten 2 ground ball double plays today.
And he's got a good tempo, being a former shortstop. He understands the importance of getting that ball, getting rid of it, so the infielders don't get bored out there.
Staying inside on Bogaerts. 3-1. Fillmyer has walked a couple, and one of those walks turned into a run. On the ground, and it kicks off of Mondesi and goes into center field, and Bogaerts is digging for 2. So hustling right out of the box, and that's a 2-base error on Mondesi.
bit him. It had a little hop at the end there. Came up and bit him. Sometimes that'll catch your finger if you're not careful. And then gotta love the hustle.
So a runner at second, nobody out for Rafael Devers, who, by the way, has committed the most errors of anybody in the major leagues, 18, including an error last night.
Yep, the left side of the diamond, you're going to have more errors than any other place out there, because that's a tough throw, not to mention to pick the ball up. Heck.
One ball, one strike. Had a tough time with fastballs this year. Third lowest average in the major leagues. So 248 overall, but if he has to put a fastball in play, 211.
Ah.
And he got a fastball and he fouled it back.
So you can sneak a piece of cheese by a hungry rat once in a while. Not too often. That's, you're a big leaguer if you can hit a fastball. You got to be able to do that. And he's really skillful at his young age. 20 years old last year, making his debut. It's amazing to see the range, the power.
Dozier fights the sun and makes the play in foul territory. So that keeps Devers, or rather Bogarts, at second base. And there's one down. So the defense has picked up Phil Meyer a couple of times today with ground ball double plays, and now he's trying to pick up the defense after the Mondesi error. He already has 8 outs on the ground. Including a ground ball double play from Eduardo Nunez, who bats with 1 out. And he shoots it to right field. Bogarts will be waved home, and the error turns into the tying run.
Mo lottery replay shows the nice, easy, short, quick swing on a breaking ball. Looked like he was doing it the whole way. Nunez, a real professional hitter, has a great idea.
So Bogarts' ground ball that kicked off of Mondesi. Bogarts, with his hustle, went to second, and now he's home. And now Nunez took off and stopped, and he's able to get back to first base.
You know, if you're Drew and a guy stops halfway, obviously he's not going to throw the ball. You're going to run at him. You're going to run him and commit him one way or another. But Drew thought he was going all the way, so went ahead and made the throw. Almost thought it was a delay steal attempt.
One and one on Leon, who grounded back to Phil Meyer in the second inning. On the ground, Moustakas down to second one, and back to Moustakas. That's the third ground ball double play for Phil Meyer.
Roll him up. Nice play, Moose. Buck Night and summer fireworks. Come out every Friday home game during the summer and enjoy hot dogs and peanuts for just $1. Stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular right from your seats. Join us for our next Buck Night and fireworks on July 20th when the Royals host the Twins at 7:15. Tickets available now at Royals.com.
That'll be immediately after the All-Star break. After today, the Royals will travel to Minnesota. The Royals have not been to Minnesota or Chicago yet, which is rare in the division. And then Minnesota and Detroit will be here for that first homestand. Alex Gordon took a called third strike against Porcello in the second inning. Porcello has struck out 4.
As cold as it was this opening of the season, it wasn't a bad idea to miss those places.
Who did we play in April here? I think it was the Angels. Angels or the Mariners had just come from Minnesota. And didn't they play a game? It was in the 20s.
Yep, I believe.
Alex Gordon leads off the 4th inning with a base hit to right field. He's 1 for 2.
Okay, looking in the spot, and there it was. He's going to throw you anything. He mixes up his pitches very well, does Porcello. Curve change, 4-seamer, slider, sinker. It's one of the reasons he's successful. You just really can't sit on a certain pitch. That's why our keys were zone him.
Off the end of the bat, and not an easy play. The only thing Nunez could do was scoop it with his glove. So the Red Sox get an out, and the Royals get a runner in scoring position.
Nunez, he's playing over toward shortstop too. This ball wasn't hit very hard. Porcello was going after the ball because he knew Moreland was staying home.
Almonte grounded out to Nunez in the second inning. A little bit high for ball 1. Two balls and no strikes. Porcello is off to a good start this year. He's 10-3. This is with the Red Sox. His first year in 15, he had the second most losses in the league, 15 losses. Then he won the Cy Young in 16, going 22-4. And then last year he led the league in losses with 17. And he's off to a good start this year.
Yeah, just seems like every other year.
None of those ERAs are horrible. I mean, 4.92 is high, but it's not that high. But going to be a dependable 200 innings guy.
Last year the Red Sox couldn't hit for power, so you see all those wins. That means you're with an offense that can really score runs and hit the ball, help your win total.
3 balls, 2 strikes. It's only 29, even though it seems like he's been around forever, and he has. But he got to the big leagues with the Tigers as a 20-year-old. And they were so impressed with him, they used him in 09 in a 1-game playoff against Minnesota. Change speeds on Almonte. And Porcello has struck out 5.
Any pitch, any time.
Back in 09, the Central Division came down to a 1-game playoff between the Tigers and the Twins at the Metrodome, and Jim Leland handed the ball to 20-year-old Rick Porcello. He struck out 8. Minnesota ended up winning on a walk-off. And now Mondesi, and that will spin foul. He has some incentive right here. The game is tied after the Red Sox got a base runner on his error in the top of the 4th inning, and now he's up with a runner in scoring position. Porcello got him swinging at a changeup his first time up. So with Mondesi at shortstop, you might ask, where's Escobar playing today? Third base? Nope. Center field? Nope. No balls, 2 strikes. He is not in the starting lineup. Alcides Escobar had started 421 consecutive games. The Royals record, and by far the longest active streak. But today is the day that he is not in the starting lineup. He could play later, and his consecutive game streak would continue, but the starts streak is over.
He's riding the pine, and he's a classy guy. I saw him when he walked in. He already knew he wasn't in the lineup, and I said, "Are you okay with that?" He had a big smile on his face. He goes, "Why wouldn't I? I loved it. I had a good run. It was fun."
Alex slipped. The throw is high down to second base. So Alex tried to hit the brakes and go back to second, but he lost a tire, but still gets to third base.
Yeah, he spun out a little bit, but the throw by Leon was almost in center field. Bogarts did a nice job of just catching the ball. Might have saved him a run.
And since Alex never went back to second base and just continued to third, it is a wild pitch. 2-2 to Mondesi. Laid off the changeup. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Still 3-2.
almost hit that expensive camera that John Sleezer has down there. Found out that camera's more expensive than my shoes.
It was close, though.
More like comparing.
Both you and John had to get the receipts out.
But almost like comparing a car with that thing. He told us how much that thing was. I was impressed. Wear him down. Check it out. 8th pitch coming.
Out over the plate and lined into left center field. So Mondesi makes up for the air and puts the Royals back out in front.
Staying inside the ball. Check it out. All these pitches, a plethora of pitches. And that one, that was the best one. Right down the middle at 90. Inside out. That's what they're doing. Royals are seeing him up.
You know, Dana Levangie is out to have a quick chat with Porcello before Drew Butera comes to the plate. Levangie is in his first year as Red Sox pitching coach. He was a catcher. So one of the rare big league pitching coaches that was not a pitcher. Dave Duncan was probably the most famous and one of the best pitching coaches in Major League history, and he was a catcher. Backhand stop by Leon. Drew Butera had a long at bat in the 3rd inning and singled against Porcello, and then he and Merrifield scored on Bonifacio's 2-run double. Bradley trying to find it, and a nice adjustment there. Looking toward left, put his eyes in the sun, so he went into a full pivot and looked to right and made the catch. But right before that, Mondesi gives the Royals a 3-2 lead. Adalberto Mondesi just put the Royals back in front 3-2 with his 2-out RBI. And he's over on the right side of second base As Phil Meyer goes to work against Jackie Bradley Jr. The Royals expect him to pull the ball. If that pitch was outside for ball one. Bradley did pull the ball and grounded out to Merrifield in the third inning. He's the Red Sox #9 hitter. In the air to center. Almonte makes the play. We just saw Bradley make a nice adjustment on a ball in the sun for the last out of the bottom of the fourth inning. He didn't really get out of the area he was in. It was just a matter of which way he was looking.
Yep. Turn your body. Look the other way. Especially on a fly ball, you have time to do that with.
So the top of the order, Mookie Betts. Fastball strike. Time for our sprint trivia question, which applies to Mookie Betts. That's his first hit of the day and the second time he's been on base. Coming into today, Mookie Betts and JD Martinez are 1-2 in the American League in slugging percentage. Name the last pair of teammates to finish first and second in their league in slugging percentage. Finally, we get an easy question.
You know, how about the Tigers? They had some pretty good hitters there back to back. And Cabrera was raking back in them days.
We just got a hint from producer Kevin Cedergren. It was in the 2008 season, which was Cabrera's first year with the Tigers. But we're getting a second hint from Kevin. It was in the National League.
Okay.
Benintendi gloops it to shallow left, and it drops in front of Alex Gordon, who tried to deke Betts into believing that Alex was going to make the catch. And Benintendi is 3 for 3. And for the fourth time in 5 innings, the Red Sox, let me take that back, for the 5th time in 5th innings, the Red Sox have 2 base runners in 1 inning.
He'll take that thing as a base hit there.
Well, you got to start with the Rockies, don't you, when you're talking about.
Yep. Why not?
Ned Yost also had some teams in Milwaukee that had some sluggers. That could have been Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder.
Right. I was thinking Richie Sexton.
Yeah. Steve Pearce has walked and he has a sacrifice fly. Now they're going to work in the Royals bullpen. Glenn Sparkman, who was just called up by the Royals. Jacob Junis went on the disabled list today with lower back tightness. 1-1 on Pearce. Well, Phil Meyer has 3 ground ball double plays already. 2-1 on Pearce.
Put him in the lane again. Stay out.
They lead the major leagues hitting with runners in scoring position, but so far today the Red Sox are just 1 for 5. 2-2. Red Sox had 2 on, 1 out in the first, 2 on, nobody out in the second, 2 on, 1 out in the third, 2 on, 1 out in the fourth, and now 2 on, 1 out in the fifth. A lot of base runners, but so far only 2 runs. 1 is unearned. line to left field. Alex is on it with one hop. So Betts has to hold at third, and now they're loaded up with one down.
Four-seamer. Pierce was looking there. Squarely was that ball struck, and you know, and Alex, he'll throw anybody out on a ball hit that hard to him.
Mitch Moreland has grounded to Merrifield twice. One of those was a double play. Right idea, keeping the pitch low. Ball one.
That's what he wants. Roll him up.
Five out of 8 this year, and 382 in his career with the bases loaded. One and one.
Ooh, that's change up in the zone there. That, you know, it tells me when you see a guy with great numbers like that, with him loaded, that he wants to excel. He welcomes ribbies out there. That's what he does. He's a run producer. He's excited. He wants to get his pitch. I would be so nervous when I would go up with the bases loaded. I just got tight. Couldn't. And I would always tell myself that first pitch is usually the one because he wants to get ahead. And I would take it right down the middle and I'd step back and go, you idiot. What are you doing? It's so hard. You got to really want to hit in this situation here. Ground ball to Witt.
3-1. Phil Meyer got Jackie Bradley Jr. to fly out to begin the inning, and then Betts, Benintendi, and Pierce all singled to left field. And now a bases loaded walk, and we're tied again. Betts comes down, and an RBI for Moreland. And here comes Ned Yost. Ned mentioned about 75 pitches for Phil Meyer, and see where they are at that point. And that says it's the end of the line. So a Chevy call to the bullpen, and here's Glenn Sparkman.
Toronto last year, so he debuted there, but back with the Royals now. Interesting story. Grew up in a small town in Texas. High school graduating class of '62. He wanted to play in the big leagues. Tried out for Wharton County Junior College as a shortstop. They saw him and they liked his arm so much in the infield, they said, come back tomorrow and try out as a pitcher. He was throwing 84 to 88 in a small town in high school, and now here he is as a pitcher in the big leagues.
Ganado, Texas is Sparkman's hometown. Drafted by the Royals in 13 in the 20th round, but last year he was with the Blue Jays for a while after being taken in the Rule 5 draft. So this is not his big league debut. His big league debut, coincidentally, was against Boston last year. He pitched in 2 ball games, and then he broke his right thumb during pitcher's fielding practice. And when he came back from the disabled list, the Blue Jays didn't have room for him, and he was returned to the Royals. 1-1 against Xander Bogaerts.
Oh, that's a smooth delivery. He's got a little, looks like a little 3/4 arm angle there. Fastball, slider, curve change, low 90s, mid 90s.
One and 2 on Bogaerts, who is singled, and he's reached on an error by Mondesi. He has Benintendi at third, Pierce at second, Moreland at first. Moreland just walked with the bases loaded to force in Betts and tie the game at 3. .96 and fouled away. Not only did he make his big league debut against the Red Sox, he pitched his second career game against the Red Sox. So now in his third career game is against Boston. Bogaerts hits it to center field. That'll be deep enough to get Benintendi home. And it's also deep enough to get Pierce to third. So Boston has 2 in the 5th inning, and they lead 4-3.
Slider stayed up right in the middle. Didn't spin a lot away from the barrel. Stayed right there.
First and third, 2 down. And the batter is Rafael Devers. And he hits it on the ground to Witt. And that's the inning. Boston gets 2, both charged to Philmeyer, but Sparkman prevents a big inning. The Red Sox lead by 1. John Sparkman comes on with the bases loaded, 1 out, gets a fly ball and a ground out. Boston leads 4-3. Chats with Drew Butera and Cal Eldred. Cricket gives us something to smile about. And another multi-hit game for Whit Merrifield, his team leading 29th. He has 2 singles to center field today against Rick Porcello and a run scored. A little bit down and away, ball 1. Low again for strike 1.
Whitley's a winning baseball player. You know, before he went to South Carolina, his dad said, those guys are huge. Look at how big this team is. Why would you come here to school like this? It's a gap.
Back come the Royals after the Red Sox take the lead. Runner at second, nobody out. Whit Merrifield's 3 for 3.
He's not satisfied with 2-hit Whit. He wants 3-hit Whit. He got it. Split the gap perfectly. He's zoning him. This is what we're talking about. He's got him in a zone, and that's where he's been, where he's gotten his hits on the same pitch every time. So nice job. He's not missing. He has a knack to barrel balls, and he stays in the middle of the field. Fun to watch. Anyway, his dad tried to talk him out of going there, and he goes, Dad, they have a chance to win. I want to win college. And he ends up getting the game-winning hit in the World Series. He's a winner.
Bonifacio hits it toward the right field corner and back into the first row. Bonifacio hit a 2-run double in the 3rd inning. Well, we never know what to believe when there's a trade rumor out there, but you can imagine why Whit's name keeps coming up for winning teams. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, it's got to be hard this time of year, and the players always say the right thing when they're asked, but you know, when you played, you had the newspaper and that was it. You know, now if you want to get caught up in a trade rumor, I mean, there's 100 different places to go for information. How do you ignore if your name is being thrown out there?
Yep.
I'm not saying, you know, some guys don't let it affect them, they just go out and play, but it'd be hard to ignore. Two and 2 on Bonifacio.
Yep. You know, a lot of ball players, smart ones, only concern themselves with what they can do. And that is their energy, their output, their attitude, those things that take care of those things. And you can't control the rest of them in baseball. Baseball, you got very little control over anything.
Betts wasn't in a great throwing position, and Whit decided not to go.
Head to the K on Saturday, July 21st as we honor a Royals fan favorite with the Amos Otis bobblehead giveaway presented by KCP&L. The first 2,000 fans, 20,000 fans at the gates will receive the bobblehead before watching the Royals take on the Twins at 6:15. Tickets available now at royals.com/promotion. That's first 20,000.
Whit was not 100% comfortable about advancing, and maybe it has something to do with Mike Moustakas coming up. Moustakas so far is 0 for 2.
So I thought it was a good play by Whit not to challenge him there. He's already in scoring position.
When you got to make that decision before the last moment, and until the last moment, Betts looked like he was doing a good job of getting behind it, and then he misread it and he had to jump and reach, and still unloaded a pretty good throw. Benintendi is back in left field. So a leadoff double, and Witt is still at second base with 2 down. A couple of borderline plays out there. That fly ball to right, he could have gone to third, and with that deep fly ball to left, he could have gone. And right after Benintendi made that catch, you could tell by Witt's body language that he's irritated by something. Sliders in for a strike. Duda has lined out to deep center, and he is struck out. Foul behind Mitch Meyer. Strike 3 call. So Porcello navigates around the leadoff double. He has struck out 6. 4-3 Boston. Shockers fans, it is Wichita State night, Friday, July 20th. It's the Royals and the Twins at 7:15. Purchase a theme ticket to receive this exclusive Royals cap featuring the Wichita State logo and colors, presented by Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. Royals.com/theme tickets. Glenn Sparkman making his Royals debut. Faced 2 and retired 2 in the 5th inning. One was a sacrifice fly, and a run charge to Heath Fillmyer. Fillmyer gives up 4 runs in 4 1/3. 1 run was unearned. Chop foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Eduardo Nunez, who is grounded into a double play and driven in one of the Boston runs. Chopped out to Mondesi, whose feet got a little tangled up there, but makes the play to get Nunez.
In order to be a good everyday shortstop, you've got to be able to make that routine play 10 out of 10 times. He looks good on the routine so far. Now he got bit by one that played him a little bit earlier in this game, cost him a run, but he knocked one in. You count it for, but he's got excellent range, left and right, and that's what you want out of a middle infielder. Somebody can chase down those ground balls, and his throwing arm is exceptional from the left side. He can do it. He can do it all.
1-1 on Leon. Remember Alexei Ramirez, longtime shortstop for the White Sox?
Oh yeah.
Remember he and Alcides Escobar were so different, and we got to see a lot of both of them. But Esky was a more aggressive shortstop. You know, he'd attack the ball. Ramirez would lay back. You know, he always waited for the ball to come to him, and you have to have a strong arm to pull that off. But I mean, if it was a chopper, he certainly would, you know, charge it aggressively. But his style was one to just kind of let the ball come to him because he had the arm.
Yeah, and it's always a little bit dangerous to lay back on a ball like that, though, because it plays you more times than not. You got to have your feet moving into the ball most of the time. And Mondesi has good footwork. You have to have good feet to be a middle infielder, a big leaguer.
I remember hearing somebody say you actually field with your feet, you receive with your hands. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's an interesting twist on it. I can think of a lot of guys who field with their feet.
Yeah, I booted a few. So you know, it helped me with having soft hands and was throwing a tennis ball against a wall on my garage door when I came home from school just to pass the time. And when you catch it with your bare hands, you have to have a little give. You have to have a little catching, or the tennis ball is so hard it'll bounce right off your hands. And I had no idea that I was going to be a baseball player, a big leaguer. So just casually throwing the ball, and I'd work the backhand a little bit, catching it with just your bare hand, no glove. So you had to have a little give, and that would help develop soft hands. You know, and I was just wasting time, but it was helping me towards being a big leaguer. So we didn't have video games to go play, or else I would have been upstairs playing the game. But I did, so I just played. I just went out and passed the time. That's what we did. We played. And that's what develops athleticism. You can't develop any athleticism if you're sitting upstairs playing a video game.
0-2 on Jackie Bradley Jr. When we talk about soft hands, it's not that your hands are literally soft, but it's the ability to go with the flow of the ball, right?
Right. No question. Tim Wallach was amazing to watch. He was a Gold Glove third baseman. And he didn't have a real big glove, but everything that hit his glove stayed in his glove. I never saw it bounce out of his glove. He didn't have what we would call frying pan hands. He had a pillow. And every time that ball just sucked right in there. Really, really soft hands, especially in that position where the ball is rocketing on you. It's on you.
3-2 on Jackie Bradley Jr. Those are some of the softest hands I've seen in 20 years with the Royals. He was the second baseman my first year. Carlos Fabulous. He and Ray Sanchez, boy, they were fun to watch.
Oh.
Well, Bradley was down 0-2. And comes back and gets a walk with 2 down, which means Mookie Betts comes up with a man on base. Let's revisit our sprint trivia question. Mookie Betts coming up. He and JD Martinez are 1-2 in the American League in slugging percentage. The last pair of teammates to finish the season 1-2. And we've gotten 2 hints. A National League team in 2008.
Well, you talked about the Rockies, and I don't know if Larry Walker and Bichette were some teammates then. If that was that past their time. Those are a couple of guys.
Well, I mentioned the Brewers.
Okay.
Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun. How about the Phillies? Phillies, that was during their run. Like
Ryan Howard,
Chase Utley, Ryan Howard and Chase Utley.
Yeah.
Who were some of the sluggers with Albert Pujols back in 08? Speaking of soft hands, Scott Rowland.
Oh, Scotty Rowland was a beauty.
Who's another basher on that 08 era? One ball, one strike on Betts. He has scored twice today. Todd Helton and Larry Walker.
Very possible. It's not an easy question. I think the Truck would like to take a commanding lead. They want to just distance themselves from us.
We have named one of the 2 players already. So that means it's the Phillies, Brewers, or Rockies. Now, why don't we guess? Why don't we start guessing teams, and then we can use our strikes trying to figure out who the players are. So what do you think?
I like
the Phillies, the
strategy.
Brewers, or the Rockies?
I'm going to say
Phillies won the World Series that year. That was the year they beat Tampa Bay.
let's go with it. But we mentioned Utley
It's also a good hitter's ballpark.
and
Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
Is it the Philadelphia Phillies? Strike 1. Bad strategy so far. Sparkman strikes out 2 in a scoreless 6th inning. He gets Leone and Betts. for an unforgettable show from the nation's capital. The MLB All-Star Game, July 17th, only on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. We find out later today who the All-Stars are going to be, barring some changes. Alex Gordon has led off 3 times today. And the 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Bob Duran from Rose Hill. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Bob wins $4,100. That's the shortstop Bogarts, so 6-3. Alex is 1 for 3. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, then Bob wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. All right, I've received another hint on our trivia question.
Wow, they're generous today.
Dozier is struck out and grounded out against Rick Porcello. So we were honing in on the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Rockies.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
I guessed the Phillies. That was incorrect. So I said, well, we're down to the Brewers and the Rockies, because one of the clues was we've already said this person's name. But I just took another hint in between innings in that it is not the Brewers or the Rockies.
Wow.
2-1. And we also brought up Albert Pujols. So I'm saying we hone in on the Cardinals.
How about Freeze?
He had some good years. I don't know if he was that good. He was a World Series hero in 11, but
Yachty?
slugging percentage? Who are we missing?
Holiday.
Matt Holliday. Is it Albert Pujols and Matt Holliday? Strike 2. Porcello shuffles his feet and gets Dozier 2 down.
No problem on that play.
Keith Hembry warms up in the Red Sox bullpen. By the way, in 2008, Albert Pujols was the National League MVP.
Oh, that's a strong guess, no doubt. Was there somebody else?
Scott Rowland? Strike on Almonte. I like the Matt Holliday. I thought that was it.
Scotty Rowland was a man-child.
Scott Rowland did one of the most impressive things I've ever seen at this ballpark. He took out 2 Royals breaking up a double play at second base.
I'm not surprised.
He got drilled late in the game, and it was a one-sided game, and he put the bat down and went to first, didn't stare at anybody, and as fate would have it, there was a ground ball near second base, and the second baseman and the shortstop were both close to the bag, and there was a little indecision who was going to field, who was going to cover. I think it was Desi Relaford and Angel Baroa, and Rowland slid into second and took both of them out. They both went down on one slide.
That's a bonus slide.
And that's how he got the Royals back for getting drilled by a pitch. Almonte is on with a walk. And that is Porcello's first walk today. Scott Rowland? Say they had Renteria for a while, but I don't think he was anywhere among the league leaders in slugging percentage. Outside to Mondesi. He put the Royals in front. It's an RBI single in the 4th inning. Royals led 3-2, and then Boston got 2 in the 5th. Boston has led 1-0. The Royals have led 2-1. They have led 3-2, and now the Red Sox lead 4-3. Delayed steal, and it's fouled away.
Mondesi had a rip. Good swing. Delay steals 3 crow hops instead of a just takeaway, a quick start. It's put on to deceive the catcher.
Timeout had been called right before the pitch, and Mondesi, being accountable, taps himself on the jersey and says, "That was me."
Porcello did the right thing. Just follow through the pitch. Don't stop. You could hurt yourself. No, I don't understand why umpires give time when a guy's already in his windup. You don't have to.
One ball, 2 strikes. What about Jim Edmonds?
Ooh. Jim was still playing then.
I think so.
Pretty convinced. Albert Pujols, right? Okay.
Pujols and Edmonds, Pujols and Roland.
Got one more
I
strike.
feel like we're missing one slugger on that team. No? Porcello gets his 7th strikeout, and we played 6. Boston leads 1-0, or leads by 1, 4-3. A 1-0 lead going into the bottom of the 3rd. Then Jorge Bonifacio hit a 2-run double to put the Royals in front. Boston tied in the 4th. Mondesi drove in a run in the 4th to put the Royals back out in front. But Boston got 2 in the 5th on RBIs from Moreland and Bogarts. Heath Fillmyer gives up 4 runs, 3 earned in his first big league start. Glenn Sparkman got the last 2 outs of the 5th. He pitched a scoreless 6th. He was scheduled to pitch for AAA Omaha, so he was the most available pitcher to be called up when Junis went on the disabled list. So he's not starting today, but pitching on his normal turn. And he'll get Benintendi, Pierce, and Moreland.
He and Philmaier are doing a good job holding down the Boston Red Sox team to just 4 runs between the two of them.
And Benintendi cut off by Gordon. Benintendi to second base, and he dives in with a double. He is 4 for 4 today, and he's now reached in 10 consecutive plate appearances.
He's got plenty of speed. Love the inside out swing. There was no doubt about that one. He had a little doinker earlier, but that's because he has a good level swing. Bat stays in the zone a long time for him, and he can run. And he's raking the Royals.
8 out of 10.
Uncle.
So a runner at second for Steve Pearce, and he takes inside for ball 1. Pearce has been on twice with a walk and a single, and he also has an RBI. Two 2-0 on Pearce. Two and 1. Base hit left field. And now the Red Sox have runners at the corners with nobody out. They have 10 hits today.
Hey, Royals fans, can't catch a game on TV? You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Royals. It's presented by Miller Lite.
Royals have pitched well today with men on. The Red Sox have had base runners all over the place, but so far they have scored 4. And now Moreland, who reached with a bases loaded walk in the 5th inning, is also grounded into a double play. Red Sox have had 15 base runners in 6+ innings. But Philmaier got a ground ball double play and a scoreless first. He got a ground ball double play in a scoreless second. He got another double play in the 4th inning, preventing a big inning.
Execute your pitch. Keep it down.
1-1.
Moreland, he's taking a rip. He rarely gets cheated.
Lined into center field. So make it 16 base runners, and now Boston leads 5-3, and they still have 2 on and nobody out.
Sparkman, 92. Down the middle, going to get hit. You hope that he hit it at somebody, but staying in the middle of the field's a big hole there.
Xander Bogaerts has singled, reached on an air and scored, and has a sacrifice fly. Pierce is at second base. Moreland is at first. Two and 0. Come on, Hud. Who's the other guy in our trivia question?
Cardinals? Howard Pujols? Troy Gloss was with Cardinals. I don't know when, but he was there. He's got power. They had another guy too.
Yes, they did.
Big guy. You mentioned his dad today. He's a catcher, and he was a pitching coach.
There's Tony La Russa. He's the vice president.
Duncan. Remember that?
Shelley Duncan.
There was a kid.
I don't know, league leader though. Why don't you go down there and ask Tony? He was the manager of that Cardinals team in 08.
Okay. See if he knows. He may not know.
Go down there and ask him. Say, who, Pujols, and who was the other guy? 1-2 in the league in slugging percentage.
Okay, I'll go in the break. You're not convicted with Scotty Rowland? He can mash.
I feel good about Scotty Rowland. I don't feel great. I thought when you said Matt Holliday, that was it. Two and 2 on Bogaerts. Right now, Mookie Betts and JD Martinez are 1-2 in the American League in slugging percentage. And our trivia question: who were the last pair of teammates to finish 1-2 in their league in slugging percentage? And our hints have been 2008 National League. And another hint, I think, led us to the Cardinals. It is the Cardinals. That's Enny Romero. The Royals picked up a couple of days ago off of waivers from the Pirates. Warming up behind Sparkman. A fair ball past the diving Dozier. Pierce scores. Moreland goes to third, and another extra base hit for Xander Bogaerts. And now it's 6-3 Boston with runners at second and third and nobody out.
They can just flat out hit. And they don't miss, especially if it's anywhere in the grid.
Rafael Devers, a left-hand batter, is coming up, and Ned Yost will go to the bullpen. So the first 4 have reached, 2 have scored, and Sparkman gives way to Romero and a Chevy call to the bullpen. But go down and ask Tony La Russa to help us out with our trivia question. Tony La Russa was the manager of the Cardinals, and in particular the 2008 season. And we have whittled it down to the 2008 Cardinals was the last pair of teammates to finish first and second in the league in slugging percentage. Albert Pujols was the MVP that year, so we're assuming Pujols. We're just having a little trouble with the other one, so HUD's going right to the source. He even took the trivia question with him. Enny Romero misses outside, ball one. He made his Royals debut last night, giving up a run in the 7th inning. Comes on in the 7th inning today with runners at second and third and nobody out. So, what do you think, Hud? Did he help you out?
He was a little undecided whether it was Edmonds, Gloss, or Rowland.
Okay, so Troy Gloss was on that team.
Yes. And then Edmonds left. Edmonds left after the 08 season, he said.
Okay, so if that was the end of his career, he's probably not leading the league in slugging percentage.
Jimmy Edmonds?
Yeah.
Gloss had a pretty good year, Tony said. So he wasn't exactly sure. But
they were both third baseman slash first baseman, so they probably weren't on the same team, were they? Because Pujols was the first baseman, so Gloss wasn't playing any first base then.
Nope.
Gloss was on that team. Kevin Cedergren tells us he really wants us to get this right. And Romero comes in and gets a strikeout on a foul tip. One down in the 7th inning.
Good strikeout. Breaking ball. He's got a good one. It's kind of a big looper. He takes a little speed off of it, makes it break more.
Romero is out of the Dominican Republic. First signed by the Rays 10 years ago. Now the Royals will bring the infield in on Eduardo Nunez. So do you feel better with Rowland or Gloss?
Well, you're right. Why would two third basemen? Was Rolling out? Did he have an injury? Maybe. Let's go with Gloss. Because if Gloss was on the team, there was something wrong with Rowland.
Right. Albert Pujols and Troy Gloss. Strike three, we're out.
Okay.
Albert Pujols and Ryan Ludwig.
And manager Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame manager, he didn't mention Ludwig. So he wouldn't have known it either.
He had 37 home runs and 113 RBIs. And look at Tony, can't believe it. He's just. He's going to have to call Ryan Ludwig as soon as this game's over and apologize to him.
He told me to look it up, and I said, well, I can't cheat. They won't let me. He goes, well, I can. Had his assistant look it up.
Well, he managed for a long time and had a lot of players. To narrow it down to one season, it's even tough for a former manager.
Oh, no question. You could see he was trying to recall. You know, he was.
Went to 3 straight World Series with the A's. 88, 89, 90. Backing out of play. Won a couple with the Cardinals, including his last year. That's a pretty good way to go out. 2011.
Sure is.
Both he and Albert Pujols. Trivia question. That was Pujols' last year with the Cardinals before signing that big deal with the Angels. 2-2 on Nunez with a switch hitter on deck, Sandy Leon. Base hit left field. So he got the ground ball, and it wasn't even a hard hit ground ball with the infield in, but placed well in between Dozier and Mondesi. And Nunez drives in his second of the day, and now the Red Sox lead by 4.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball, mid-90s. All right, so Tony made it official. He came in and he said Ludwig. You worked with him? You worked with Ludwig? Is that why? That's why he hit so good? That's what he said.
Oh, nice of him to be a good sport with our trivia question, coming into the booth and didn't want to be put on camera. Don't blame him for that, but he wrote down Ryan Ludwig on HUD's sheet.
Yeah. Oh, good job.
One hop to Witt, and the Royals get their 4th double play, but in the 7th it comes after the Red Sox get 3 more runs. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium, and on this Sunday it's time for God Bless America. Let's turn it over to the voice of Kauffman Stadium, Mike McCartney.
Please join us in singing God Bless America, being performed by Royals fans Got Talent participant Katie Buzzard.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, why with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
For the win, and a look at Rick Porcello's day. 6 innings, 3 runs. He has struck out 7 and has become more of a strikeout pitcher. When he first came up as a 20-year-old. In his first several years with the Tigers, he was much more of a contact pitcher. He is at 97 pitches. And he's 0-2 against Drew Butera. Butera, Merrifield, and Bonifacio. Royals had a 3-2 lead at the end of 4. And then Boston has scored the last 5. Last night, in a similar fashion, at the end of 6, it was a 4-4 tie, and then the Red Sox scored 11 runs over the last 3 innings. Drew hits it off the end of the bat, and that'll drop into right center field. He has a 2-hit game, and the Royals have their leadoff man on.
Nice, that fell for him. He works hard for every hit he gets, believe it. He's trying to stay away from him, and he hits it off the end of the bat just in the nick of time. If he barrels it, he hits it to Jackie Bradley, and he's an out. Hitting it hard, sometimes overrated.
And there's the 4th hit of the game for Whit Merrifield. And the Royals have runners at second and third with nobody out. That's Whit's second double to go with a pair of singles.
You know, like I was talking earlier about Whit has the knack to barrel, but he's thinking middle away, and he's so good at using the whole field. And if something's soft and it's floating in, he'll come in there. He's ready to turn on it. 88.
So manager Alex Cora goes out, and the Red Sox had a reliever go through the gate and onto the warning track, but Alex Cora did not motion for that reliever to come in. So Mitch Moreland, the Red Sox first baseman, saw that and was telling him to get back into the bullpen, but no move was made. But Heath Hembree, who's been warming up the last couple of innings, just assumed with Porcello at 101 pitches that he was coming into the game.
Communication. Gotta have it.
Inside to Bonifacio. He has driven in 2 today.
Hit with.
One ball, one strike. Bonifacio drove in Butera and Merrifield with his double in the 3rd inning, and that's who's out there right now for him with nobody out. Got a high fastball, and he fouled it straight back.
Porcello with 2 strikes has been going upstairs to try to get the swing and miss. Now get him in.
Fastball struck him out. And Bonifacio is furious with himself. 105 pitches for Porcello, and now 1 down in the 7th inning.
Yep, that's just where he wants to put it. Just enough up that it looks good to the hitter, but it can sneak it by him.
Porcello's season high is 9 strikeouts And he's done that 3 times this year. And now fastball cut on and missed by Mike Moustakas. He is 0 for 3.
Be nice to see Moose get a hold of one here, make it a ball game.
Oh and 2. And the so-called sinker ball pitcher is now pitching up quite a bit.
Yep,
and I don't know if he's, getting away with mistakes or if that's by design, but he's having some success pitching up there. And typically that'd be a bad sign for a guy like Porcello.
He's getting through the Royals, no problem.
And that was way upstairs. So Porcello is tied his season high with 9 strikeouts. And from 2nd and 3rd and nobody out to now 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs.
Yeah, no, he's definitely trying to use the upper part of the strike zone. Even over 100 pitches, he still has pretty good command.
Duda chases one down and out of the strike zone. So some of it is Porcello, some of it is the Royals swinging at unhittable pitches.
Yep. A little bit too aggressive.
So if you're Porcello right now, you're probably thinking, why throw a strike? Got him to pop it up. Jackie Bradley Jr. is there. And Rick Porcello, after giving up a single and a double to begin the bottom of the 7th inning, does not allow a run.
Out in left field, coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Plenty to talk about. The first big league start for Heath Billmeyer, the first appearance as a Royal by Glenn Sparkman. Whit Merrifield putting on a hitting clinic, over 300 on the year. Plus, we'll get you ready for the 3-game series against the Minnesota Twins. That's all coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Ryan?
All right, thank you, Joel. Here's Jason Adam to pitch the top of the 8th inning. Jason is 0-2, taking the loss last night, giving up a couple of runs in the 7th inning. And he'll get the 9 1 and 2 hitters, beginning with Jackie Bradley Jr. 0 for 2 with a walk today.
Yeah, it's good that Ned gets his guys back in there after the night before they gave up a few runs. With Romero giving up a few, and get him right back out there again. I don't have time to think about and dwell on that. Pound down, big, heavy, hard fastball. Curve change. Nice overhand curve when it's working. Change has some good fading action to it.
Two balls, one strike. Three and one. Phil Meyer went 4 1/3, filling in for Jacob Junis, who went on the disabled list today with lower back tightness. So Phil Meyer gave up 4. Glenn Sparkman in his Royals debut was charged with 3 over an inning and 2/3. One of those runs scored after he was out of the game. And then Enny Romero, just picked up by the Royals earlier this week, pitched 1 inning. Bullet back to the middle, and Jackie Bradley Jr. is on to begin the 8th inning.
Purchase 20 or more tickets for a single game and receive a 20% discount. Group tickets are available for all home games, and groups of 20 or more can save big. Suites and party areas are also available on a nightly basis, so plan your company event or get together with friends or co-workers today. Email groupsales@royals.com to start planning your next big gig.
Mookie Betts has scored twice, reaching with a walk and a single. Strike one. One and one. The later innings have been an issue in this series. The Royals on Friday night, they scored 4 runs between the 7th and 9th innings. The Red Sox had built a big lead early, but now for the entire series, from the 7th inning and on, the Red Sox have outscored the Royals 16-4. Time had been called right before Jason threw a pitch. Game 1 on Friday was decided very early. The Red Sox scored 8 of their 10 runs in the second, and then last night was a competitive game. Game was tied at 4 through 6, and we mentioned those 11 runs the Red Sox scored over the last 3 innings. Outside to Betts, 2 balls, 1 strike, and today through 6 innings, Boston led 4-3. And then they scored 3 in the 7th and have their leadoff man on in the 8th. That's what good teams do. Win games in the later innings. Popped up to the right side and right in the sun. But Witt picks it out and makes a play. Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Hold True moment. And Andrew Benintendi is 4 for 4, and he has reached with his last 10 plate appearances.
And cool him off. Inside out, staying into using all fields, left field for a couple of them.
Curveball's in for a strike. He swings a big bat, but he's not a very big guy. He's 5'10", 170 pounds. He was the Red Sox first-round pick out of the University of Arkansas in 2015. He is from the Cincinnati area, so he did not grow up in Arkansas, but he was well decorated in that 2015 season. He was the SEC Male Athlete of the Year, so any sport. And he was the Golden Spikes and the Dick Hauser Award winner. Wow. When the Red Sox took him in the first round.
Oof. Well decorated.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's had 2 5-hit games in his career.
Already. That's pretty good for a guy who's been around very long.
Exactly. He can hit.
Bradley runs, and the throw is high and sails to the first base side of second base. And Jackie Bradley Jr. is at second base with 1 out.
Quick jump. Might have gotten him with a perfect throw.
Number 10 for the Red Sox center fielder. Boston is second in the league in stolen bases, by the way, adding to different ways they can beat you. And Jason Adams' curveball puts an end to Benintendi's run after reaching in 10 straight plate appearances. 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Good breaker. Look at that. That started at the top of the zone and ended up at the bottom of the zone. Perfectly executed. No 5-hit day today. Unless they come back, tie it up, and go extras.
And now the DH, Steve Pearce. He's been on base 3 times today. He took a walk in the first inning. He had a sac fly in the 3rd, and now singles in his last 2 at-bats and 1 run scored. Two and 0. Breaking ball a little bit low. 3 balls and no strikes. And for the second time today, Pierce walks on 4 straight pitches. And now Drew Butera is going to go out and have a chat with Jason Adam before Mitch Moreland comes up.
Adam looked like his shoulder's coming out a little bit. Try to get back down through the ball. It's a whole new ball game with the RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone.
Moreland is driven in 2. He walked with the bases loaded in the 5th and then drove in a run with a single in the 7th. He's also scored a run. Down and away, ball 1. Red Sox have had 20 base runners in 7 2/3 innings. Hit to the right side. Moustakas scoops and circles back to the base. And Jason Adam gets around a single and a walk. Boston by 4 to the bottom of the 8th. That's where you'll find game 2 of the 3-game series between the Royals and the Twins. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on FS1, or you can stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Here are the pitching matchups. Danny Duffy will go tomorrow. Birch Smith is going to take Jason Hamill's spot in the starting rotation, so he'll pitch on Wednesday. Will be on Fox Sports Kansas City tomorrow and Wednesday. This is Matt Barnes for the bottom of the 8th inning. Minnesota's playing well. They're about to win their 4th in a row. They lead Baltimore 10-1 in the 9th inning. And now that has just become a final score. It'll be Gordon, Dozier, and Almonte. This is the 4th time that Alex has led off an inning, and he's batting 5th today. So that usually means that the guy in front of you has had a tough day. And Lucas Duda is 0 for 4.
Whole middle of the order been struggling a little bit. Barnes has got a good fastball. It's got some good movement to it. It's got some tailing action. Big curve and a change.
That's a heck of a pitch. If the difference between the mound and home plate is 50 feet 6 inches, but it's a little short with the standard distance.
Yeah, and Alex wasn't going to get out of the way of that.
Bogarts throws out Alex. That's the second time that Bogarts, shifting over to the right side, has thrown out Alex today. One down in the bottom of the 8th. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. 28,443 are here today. Fastball strike to Hunter Dozier, many of whom are Girl Scouts on Girl Scouts Day, and we had a few young ladies stop by the booth before the game started to deliver some Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, it was great they made a visit.
Oh, and 2 on Hunter Dozier. He is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout, and now 0 for his last 13. So he'd like to put an end to that right here, get on the airplane and go to Minnesota without a lengthy 0 for hanging over him.
That's exactly right.
And that got Leon.
That fastball has a good run on it in. He caught that flush and right on the mask.
And again, catcher gets hit by another pitch by Barnes that landed way in front of home plate.
He's having a hard time with that field pitch there.
Two down, and that's the 10th strikeout for a Red Sox pitcher today.
Breaker kind of fooled him a little bit. Basically, when you're in an 0 for, you know, the ball just looks really small. And when you're going good, it looks big. It's just amazing how the game is. Not easy, but you just got to keep your head up, move through it.
Almonte is 0 for 2 with a walk. Oh, and 2. Red Sox got 7 innings out of Rick Porcello. He struck out 9, tying a season high, but he had to do some pitching. The Royals had base runners in every inning but one against Porcello. And among other things, Porcello worked around a leadoff single. He worked around a leadoff double, and in his last inning, he got around second and third and nobody out. And now Barnes picks up where he left off. He strikes out 2, and that's 11 strikeouts for Red Sox pitchers today. Brought to you by Ford, going further so you can. 7-3 Boston after the Royals had a 3-2 lead. 9th inning, and game hasn't bothered that little guy or the guy behind him. Our Pepsi fan of the game. I believe they call that flossing. But
okay. Do any of your kids do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you tried to do that?
No. Nor will I. It's a young man's dance, Hud.
I agree. I tried. I almost blew my knee out.
Willie Peralta will come on in the 9th inning. He is the 5th Royals pitcher today.
Willie, mid-90s, maybe a little bit above that with his fastball, sharp breaking ball changeup. Doing a good job. 1.35 ERA. Likes to start hitters off with his breaking ball.
Sander Bogaerts leads off.
Went with a hard 97 there.
He's 2 out of 3 with a couple of RBIs and a run scored. He's a really good player who doesn't get a ton of national attention. With his double in the 7th inning, Bogaerts has 43 extra base hits. Last year he had 48. The Royals fans are plenty familiar with him. He's better than a .350 hitter in his career against the Royals, and he is driven in 7 in this series. Three balls, 1 strike on Bogaerts, who is from Aruba.
Brian Bannister, the assistant, or excuse me, the hitting coach, Andy Barkin, was telling me that he opened up his hip a little bit. Bogaerts, and he able to get his hands through the ball and sees the ball a little bit better, and then got off to a good start. JD Martinez has made a huge influence, has had on the other hitters. They all study things. They're looking, you know, their launch angle.
strike to Devers. Well, that's what helped turn J.D. Martinez into an elite player. He started watching video 4 years ago of Mike Trout and Miguel Cabrera. So watch the best of the best and figure out now what do these guys do well. Bogaerts can talk to anybody. He speaks 4 languages. Speaks English, Spanish, Dutch, and then a dialect unique to Aruba, Papiamento.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd know Papiamento if I heard it.
I don't think I would either.
Three balls and 1 strike on Devers. We're talking about guys who got to the big leagues at a very young age. Bogaerts got to the big leagues when he was 20. And now back-to-back walks. And the Red Sox have 22 base runners today. That was a unique year when Bogaerts got to the big leagues for a couple of reasons. Number one, getting to the big leagues at the age of 20, but he was the 3rd youngest in the big leagues that year. Bryce Harper and Jurickson Profar were younger than Bogaerts. And the Red Sox won the World Series that year in 2013. And Bogaerts the next year still qualified as a rookie.
Huh.
So how many guys? Well, I know one. He's at shortstop right now. I was going to say, how many guys get a World Series ring and they have not exhausted their rookie status the next year?
You know, Bogaerts, he was on that 2012 Futures All-Star team. And who was in that game?
I was right here, Kauffman Stadium.
Right here, yeah. Garrett Cole, Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado, Bogaerts, Jose Fernandez, Francisco Lindor, Gene Segura. I mean, that's big time talent. That
Who
all
would have
made
known?
it.
I mean,
Wow. No, we didn't know any of those names at that time.
up the middle, Mondesi coming out of nowhere, and that's a double play.
There's a little sample of the range. On contact, that ball had top-spin. It was hit hard. And usually when it has topspin, the next bounce bounces even faster, but he was able to get to it. Whitley with a good quick transfer. Those were the plays there, the second baseman, when you can't see the runner, that's when they used to could really clean your clock. But you don't have to worry about anybody taking anybody out anymore. And that's good for injury purposes.
That's the 5th double play turned by the Royals today. That one was the most impressive. You mentioned his range. He's also long. I mean, he fully extended.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had any chance to get that ball.
I didn't either.
Oh, 2 on Sandy Leon. Getting back to that Futures game, I think Nick Castellanos was the MVP.
He hit a 3-run homer.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't even mention him.
I don't know why I remember that. I wasn't at the game and I didn't watch the game.
Yeah, and another player named Will Myers was on that team too.
Peralta walks the first two. He gets a dazzling double play from Mondesi and then finishes the inning with a strikeout.
Nicely done. Must be nice. That's a great seat.
Yep.
Looks like he's getting some rays today.
Where is that guy? He's close to the infield. Close to the umpires. Or she. Tyler Thornburg, that was his season debut and his Red Sox debut on Friday. We were telling you the story a couple off seasons ago. The Red Sox traded for Thornburg, who had a really good year for the Brewers in 16, and they traded Travis Shaw, young third baseman who played really well for the Brewers last year. But Thornburg got hurt in spring training and never recovered and had to have surgery, so he missed the whole season and didn't finally throw a pitch for the Red Sox in a regular season game until Friday night. And Alex Cora gets him right back out there, and he's 0-2 against Mondesi.
Got excellent stuff. Good hard fastball. Mid to upper 90s. Change up, power curve.
Mondesi has driven in a run, and this is part of being a young player in the big leagues. He has driven in a run, he has made an error, which has led to a run, and he's made the defensive play of the game. And now he drives one to deep right field. Betts is back, and it's off the fence and bounces away from Betts. So Mondesi has a leadoff double.
Well, he roped that one. He gets up underneath that. That gets a little backspin. It looked like it had some topspin on it. He hit that ball a long way. Good short compact 94.
Hit one of the support posts, kicked away from Betts. And here's Drew Butera, who has 2 hits today and has scored a run. Left center field. Benintendi makes the play in front of Jackie Bradley Jr. Mondesi holds at second base, 1 away in the bottom of the 9th inning. here's Whit Merrifield going for his 5th hit. He has 2 singles and 2 doubles. And he is hitting over 300. He's at 301.
Like to see it. 5-hit Whit possible. Sure enough. Looking for his first one. Why not a homer?
One ball, 1 strike. His home runs are down, which is really not important for his style of player. But his OPS is up from last year, which is a more comprehensive look at a hitter's impact.
Yep, OPS on base plus slugging.
Some players, their contribution is getting on base. Some, when you're talking about slugging, not just getting hits, but getting extra base hits. So you combine the two. 3-1 on Whit. And now he has a chance driving a run with Mondesi going to 3rd on a wild pitch. The Red Sox closer Craig Kimbrell. Had a good rip. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You don't get many opportunities to get 5 hits. Be hacking.
Whit already has more walks than he did all of last year. He's coming up on reaching his double total from last year. He'll have to hit a bunch of home runs in the second half to get to 19. He has 5 at the moment. But his batting average is up. His on base percentage is way up. Slugging percentage is down a bit because of fewer home runs, but again his OPS is higher. And he got it. A 5-hit game. Whit Merrifield's first career 5-hit game, and he drives in a run.
Wow, 5-hit Whit. He's not messing around. Let's check out the first one. Bullet up the middle. What new? Second one, same thing, up the middle. Look at the head position. Drives one to the wall. Not another one, but down the line too. He'll turn on it. He'll go right, left, center. And there's number 5 right here.
First second baseman in Royals history with a 5-hit game. second baseman has a 5-hit game, and Whit Merrifield has 3 singles and 2 doubles today, and he creates a save situation for the Red Sox. So Craig Kimbrell comes on. He is 26 out of 28. One of those blown saves was against the Royals back in Boston when Alex Gordon launched a home run off of Kimbrell in the 9th.
Oh, it was nice.
The Royals ended up winning that game in extra innings.
They played him tough. He's not easy to hit. 5'11", 205, but he generates a lot of arm speed. He'll throw mid to upper 90s. He'll bring it. He's got some heavy sink to his pitch too, and a big curve.
Oh, 2 on Bonifacio. If you go back to the beginning of last year, Craig Kimbrell has the second lowest ERA to Pat Neshek, second lowest opponent's batting average to Josh Hader, and the second most strikeouts per 9 innings to Dellin Betances. His save percentage, 91%, is the best in Major League history. In less than a week after the Royals were in Boston, Kimbrell got his 300th save and became the fastest in Major League history to 300 saves in both age, 29 years old, appearances, and opportunities.
Okay. Impressive. Get him. Fastball. Look, Heater adjust to the curve.
Broke his bat, and that'll drop into left field. Bonifacio gets his second hit, and Mike Moustakas comes to the plate representing the tying run.
Yep, he'll take it. Broke bat. It's broken, but it died a hero.
Mike Moustakas is 0 for 4 so far today. But that could mean nothing if he gets a big hit right here, and Kimbrell starts him off with a slider. Moustakas has only been in the box against Kimbrell twice in his career, and he has a walk and a strikeout. And he got the call with that slider. Much to Moustakas' dismay, he leaves the box and goes all the way to the grass.
Yeah, he's thinking, you know what? I'm looking for the fastball. I don't want that slider or power curve, whatever it is. Looks like it has a little slider break to it.
And for the second time today, Mike Moustakas has chased one up around his eyes. That's how Porcello struck him out back in the 7th inning.
Looking for the one heater. He got it, but good job by Kimbrell to elevate.
So 2 down, and it's down to Kimbrell and Lucas Duda. Duda is 0 for 4 today, and he's 1 out of 16 against Kimbrell, but that one hit was a home run. One ball, one strike.
Duda's not looking for that slider either. He wants that heater in on his hands. About the same kind of velocity that Garrett Cole threw him in Houston. He just turned on it. Short, quick swing. Hit it out of the ballpark. He's got that in him.
That is a nasty pitch. That thing was a fastball for about 60 feet. And then in the last 6 inches, it turned into a slider. At least that's what the hitter is seeing.
That's right. It looks like you got to pick up the rotation as soon as you can.
Two balls, two strikes. On deck, Alex Gordon. And Alex handed Kimbrel a blown save when we were in Boston early in the season with a long home run at Fenway Park. That'll be out of play. May 1st, 9th inning. Kimbrel and Gordon. And then remember, Jorge Soler hit a 3-run home run in extra innings, and that's the Royals' only win this year against the Red Sox. Two on, two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Kimbrel gets the save. Red Sox pitchers strike out 13, and they come to Kauffman Stadium and sweep the 3-game series. So the Red Sox finished the season series 5-1 against the Royals this year. The Royals had won the previous 2 season series. Final score, Red Sox 7, Royals 4. We'll be right back.